Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baruch HaKodesh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all Yakim across the earth for doing his work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. So this video I want to go into, as you can see, you see the statue of the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar, and back then, I'm just going to read the chapter. Then you're going to get the understanding, because it represents the different kingdoms, as you can see, and the toes represent where we are right now, and it's beautiful if you see signs, prophecies being revealed, coming to pass in front of your eyes, and that's basically what's going on, so it's beautiful to see the things that are going on right now currently, So I'm just going to read the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Just going to jump into it. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 1. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever, tell thy servants thy dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me, if ye will not make me known unto me the dream, with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. So he was like, if y'all can't explain the dream to me, I'm going to destroy y'all, and your houses. But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of my gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know certainly that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. But if you will not make known me, but if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such things as any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. So that's funny, he'd be like, okay, y'all need to tell me even what I had dreamed about, And it's a rare thing that the king required, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said unto Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known unto Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the powers of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Daniel blessed Yahweh of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changes the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness and in the light, and the light dwelleth with him. And this reminds me of what Yahushua told his disciples. He said, with the Father, nothing is impossible. And this story shows you that again. I thank thee and I praise thee, O thou power of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might, and hast made known unto me now what we decide of thee, for thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon, bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah, that will make known unto the king the interpretation. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, The secret which the king had demanded cannot the wise man, the astrologer, the magician, the soothsayer show unto the king, but there is a power in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream of the vision of the head upon the bed are these. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into my mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter, and he revealed secrets, make it known to thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, the secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of irons, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest still that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of the iron and the clay, and break them in pieces, and break them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art the king of kings, for the power of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven had he given into thine hand, and had made thee ruler over them all. Thou art his head of gold, and after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much iron breaketh in pieces and subdued all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. And that is the revived kingdom, Roman kingdom that we are right now. You see that they being divided amongst each other. For example, Russia with with a lot of countries from Europe, with America. Those are Edomites. Those are Edomites in rulership. Edomite countries, but still they divided amongst each other. So that shows you, you know, that we are in the toes concerning these. Yeah, if you look at the statue, that we are in that kingdom right now. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas the sawers iron mixed with the miry clay, they might, it's like they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom. And this is talking about the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, you know, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Yeah, and that's the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, and the great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Although it tarry, it will pass. It will. What if some do not believe? It still will go on. Does it make the Most High a liar? Shall the prophecies not be not continue to how I said it? Coming to pass. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an obligation and sweet odors unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal the secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon, but Daniel sat in the gate of the king. So by revealing this dream, the king put him up on high. It was very I said it, happy that he revealed the dream, and why I went into this is because what you can see is recently going on with France, which is very beautiful. Let me see. So let me see if I can find that, because I think I saved that article. Because France, they they already had problem concerning this one, this article right here. So Niger was the last place that they they were the people there, the soldiers took over the country. They removed that puppet leader there. And France, they had Burkina Faso, Mali, one more, can't get on the name. So they got a couple colonies, and they receive money for those places. That's what the Edomites do. They oppress the people there, basically put them in slavery, and then they put the puppet there, and then they take the resources from the country. So they've been doing that for a while. And from Niger they get uranium, which they also use to make nuclear weapons, and that's an expensive product. So they used to make a lot of money with that. So now that stopped, and France was looking at other countries, Europe and America, Babylon the Great, for example, if they would help, because when this thing happened with Niger, because that's when they really start feeling hurt, and they were talking about they would set up a military intervention over there, so they wanted to send some soldiers over there and basically take back the power, but then the other countries like Mali and Burkina Faso and other countries, they said if France would set foot there with soldiers, they would see it as an act of war and they would respond on it. And France was looking around him and he saw that nobody was there to back him up. And this shows us that the partially strong kingdom, the iron, and the broken kingdom, the clay, that they don't mix. They'd be like, no, you look at it's your problem. They don't want to, they're not ready to help. Meanwhile, if you go back a few years ago, they would help probably, because then America, when America used to go to a country, Holland would send soldiers, different countries would send soldiers to support America, whatever. But now you see countries that they basically not want to do, basically they are not on one accord with other places. For example, now the tensions between Germany and Poland are also rising, because Germany, they want to put extra security on the borders concerning the refugees. So Poland also sees that as as a thing against them. Because also a lot of people from Poland, they also work in Germany, in Holland also, you got a lot of them. So now if they want to make the borders, basically, how you say that? Put more security there, and make it difficult for people to come to cross the border. Yeah, they also gonna suffer from it. So there you see the tensions are rising up between countries. Because before it was like America would say something, then all of Europe would do whatever America said. But now you see that countries are divided amongst each other. Now they have also elected a new president in Slovakia, which is more in favor with Russia than the previous minister that they used to have there. So that shows you that there's also something going on over there. They used to be more pro-America, but now they're switching up to be more pro-Russia. So this article is from nu.nl, from Nu, which is a big news platform here in Holland, and it's from last week. France will withdraw all troops from Niger in the coming months. President Emmanuel Macron said in a television interview. The ambassador from the West Africa country is also recalled. France has decided France has decided to recall the ambassador and end military cooperation with Niger. The French president said on Sunday evening there was a coup in Niger at the end of July, and relations with France have been tense since then. The former colonizer is still active with troops in Niger. These are mainly there to combat Islamic rebels in the Sahel region. And that's the same game that they play everywhere. Everywhere is the so-called Islamic thing, whether it be Taliban or whatever you call the other dudes, But that's what they do. They create this proxy war, let people fight against each other, and they take the resources. But yeah, the soldiers over there took over and they be like, fuck it, it stops right there. The junta now ruling Niger blames France for the unrest in the country. Earlier, the coup plotters ordered the French ambassador to leave the country. France has about 1,500 soldiers stationed in Niger, but the country's new military government has terminated military cooperation treaties with France. Yeah, they took back the power of their country. The decision further diminishes France's influence in the region. It is also a blow to anti-terrorist operations, whatever. Until the coup, Niger was a key security partner for France and the United States, of course, which used the country as a base against Islamic insurgency journeyers in the region. French troops have previously been forced to leave Mali and Mali and Burkina Faso, including after coups. But they don't talk about all the resources that they get from those countries. You know that no, they only talk about they fight against terrorism. The biggest terrorists of this planet Earth is this the so-called white people, the Edomites. They are the terrorists of the of the world. Because if you look everywhere, they set foot. It's war, rape, and murder. You know that's what they do. Destroy the people. You know, rape the people and steal the resources. Everywhere they've been doing the same thing, but they're talking about they fight against terrorism. Funny, man. Early in the day, the junta closed Niger's airspace to all French aircraft. This means that not only military aircraft but also Air France commercial flights are no longer allowed to fly above Niger. Macron wants to bring back the first troops as early as the coming weeks. The complete withdrawal should be completely by the end of the year, he said. So that's beautiful to see, man. It's beautiful to see. So they have to, get out of the country with the tail behind their legs, like a scared dog. And nobody is backing it up. There's no country that stood up like, okay, we're gonna help you and we're gonna help you to get the power back in Niger. No, they be just they be like, okay, you go on and leave. Yeah, beautiful man, beautiful man. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharuka Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching scriptures, among other things, as salutation to Akim across the earth doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.